talk about something fun. Apple Vision Pro.
Apple Vision, the $4,000 headset.
The $4,000 headset. Yeah.
It proves that Meta started the metaverse a few years back, and everybody said, they're crazy. What are they talking about? But, we've been playing Sims since the late 90s. Yeah.
Let's take a walk down memory lane. What was the very first one that came to the market? Can you take us
back in?
Do you remember those?
The very first commercialized one that came out that everybody liked was like as we know too is the Oculus Rift. Oh, then there's Google Glasses also. Yeah,
which was a fail. Right? It's like nobody used them. That to me was like the very first like remnants of it, right? And then we had Oculus, and then we had.
Oh, the cardboard ones that you put the phone in it.
Yeah, there you go. Meta's was all the rave last year, right?
It tells you as humans, we've always wanted, we love watching TV and playing games or 3D and all that, but like it's still not that full immersive experience. We've always wanted that immersive. It's like we want to escape this world and go to another world completely with all our senses. And I think that's what those headsets allow you to do, right? They, at least from the vision, hearing, even sensation, like because you're moving, right? Motion, you get transported to another universe. Now, if you could add, I don't know, if you could figure out how to transport smell somehow, then that would make the experience completely different. But everybody's trying to get to this alternate universe, and now with Apple going into it, it just made it real. I mean, Meta was the first company that really invested heavily in it, and they came up with the metaverse, and they bought Oculus, but now that Apple is in it, it's going nowhere. Google tried to do the Google Glasses but it was more like a productivity tool. They didn't try to take you to somewhere else. It was more like we're gonna enhance what you look at by putting a screen in your glasses. But these guys are transforming you. I know Apple is commercializing it a little differently, as if it's an alternate reality. They put like a screen in the front and a screen inside so that people can see your eyes while you move. But in reality, you're in a dark room. If that thing runs out of battery, you're blindfolded.
I think what I liked about it the most is that it doesn't have any handheld devices.
Yeah, it's hand gestures.
Yep. That was very clunky. On the other experiences that I had tried previously, it was, you have to do this thing.
Yeah.
This. It was like, and I was always trying to maneuver it and not very successful. So I really like the fact that this one is just using hand gestures.
Yeah, and I love the fact that it's actually both virtual reality and augmented reality, right? It has cameras, so it can project in the dark room. They can project exactly what you would have seen without the headset, and then overlay whatever it is that like they call it the Vision OS or something like that. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Now, is it gonna be the future of entertainment? I don't know. It's definitely not gonna be very cool to kind of use it with your friends when you're in the same room, but it's really cool to use it with your friends when they're far away. So I don't know what's gonna do to social.
That's a good question. Like, what type of apps are we gonna see? What type of use cases are we gonna see?
A lot. I mean, I can see, for example, gaming, obviously number one. It's a lot of gaming. Entertainment, movies on those things. They're gonna have immersive movie experience. That's gonna be crazy. Even at work, training. Like, imagine you're a new employee. You just got there. You're trying to figure out where things are. You can put that VR thing, the headset on. That's why Apple Vision Pro is pretty cool, because it shows you what you would have seen without it, right? So I will see this room as it is, and I'll have arrows saying that's where the camera is. This is the button you click, and so it will take productivity to a whole different level. Yeah, I think it's gonna change the way we live. Now, the only part that I don't like about it is the social isolation, where we're gonna be in the same room and we both gonna be having the same thing. We might have this similar experience, but it's not the same as masks off, face to face. real eye contact. So I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it from a social aspect.
I think it's very easy to assume everybody lives in like a developed country like the US, right? And everybody has access to what you just mentioned. I think that you first need to have a connection and a computer and then train. There's a lot of individuals in the world that don't have access to that. So obviously a $3,500 headset is not for the masses. It's definitely something that is probably meant for developers so that they can develop the applications and develop these use cases that people are going to begin to use, right? But we got to bring that price point down for the masses, and those would be for the masses that are in developed countries, right? Because there's a lot of people that don't even have a regular computer yet out in Kenya or Nigeria, and they don't even have access to connectivity. So like the impact that the device will have, I think will not be immediate. I think it's, at least worldwide, right? But it's very promising. It's very promising
Absolutely.
to see. And it is getting less clunky. The experience is I liked it when I tried it, so it was I'm sure you liked it too. So there's ways to go, but definitely huge improvement, and it's nice to see that Apple is getting in the game of these type of headsets, because I think it's just mass adoption, and it's one step closer to getting it to everyone. Right?
And it's just a matter of time before Microsoft gets into it, Google gets into it, Nvidia. It's just all the big guys will get into it.
Once you have access to that, I think, as you mentioned, training could be, transformed. You no longer have to be, and we could start reimagining education and skill sets. You no longer have to be in a school to learn about something or in a lab. You might be able to do that through these headsets. So I'm excited for it, but also very realistic that it's going to take some time for it to really materialize.
Yeah, it's just the beginning. Like the whole metaverse kind of concept is it's been here for a few years, simulations and all that, but it's still, compared to AI started in the 60s, the very first labs about artificial intelligence and teaching computers and all that. It started a long time ago. What we see today, it's a fruit of 60 years of work. The virtual reality is 20 years at most, 20, 30, right? It's still got another 20 years of maturity before it hits. But when it does, yes, there's going to be definitely, it's going to be an economy mover. And of course, that's where all these companies are trying to get into it right now. They want to know today. Toyota Hybrid came out in the early 2000s, late 90s, right? That first Prius. Now you can't imagine a world without a hybrid, but back then they had to be pioneered. They had to, figure out how things work. I hope you like what you've seen today. Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. See you next time.